Great War, Rome versus Germanic tribes. The conflict between Rome and the Germanic tribes, often referred to as the Roman-Germanic Wars, was not a single event but a protracted series of clashes that spanned centuries. This Great War was characterized by fierce battles, shifting alliances, and a collision of cultures that ultimately reshaped Europe. The story of this war is one of endurance and transformation, a contest between Rome's structured imperial system and the decentralized yet resilient Germanic tribes. What began as Rome's push to conquer the untamed lands beyond the Rhine ended with the Germanic tribes dismantling the Western Roman Empire and forging the foundations of medieval Europe. Prologue: the Roman vision versus Germanic freedom. Rome viewed Germania as a land of opportunity and chaos, a region to be subdued and integrated into the empire. The Germanic tribes, however, saw Rome as a threat to their way of life, their independence, and their ancestral lands. The tension between these two perspectives ignited a war that would last centuries. Rome brought advanced military tactics, infrastructure, and a unified political system to the conflict, while the Germanic tribes wielded their deep knowledge of the land, guerrilla tactics, and fierce loyalty to their kin. Phase 1. The opening clashes, 113 to 101 BCE. The Cimbri and Teutons. The first major confrontations between Rome and the Germanic tribes arose with the migrations of the Cimbri and Teutons in the late 2nd century BCE. These tribes sought new lands, likely driven by climate change or pressure from other groups, and clashed with Roman forces. Key battles. Battle of Orazio, 105 BCE, a catastrophic Roman defeat, with tens of thousands killed. Battle of Vercelli, 101 BCE, Gaius Marius' reforms led to a decisive Roman victory, ending the immediate threat of the Cimbri and Teutons. Outcome: Rome's survival and the beginning of its dominance in northern Europe, but the conflict revealed the growing power of Germanic migrations. Phase 2. Roman expansion and setbacks, 12 BCE 9 CE. Drusus and Tiberius campaigns. Under Augustus, Rome sought to conquer Germania and extend its borders beyond the Rhine. Generals like Drusus and Tiberius led military campaigns deep into Germanic territory, building forts and establishing temporary Roman control. Achievements: construction of the Limes Germanicus, a defensive frontier system. Initial victories that expanded Roman influence into Germanic lands. The Teutoburg forest disaster. In 9 CE, Rome's ambitions suffered a devastating blow. Arminius, a Germanic chieftain trained by Rome, united the tribes and ambushed the Roman legions under Publius Quinctilius Varus. Key battle: Teutoburg Forest, 9 C. Arminius annihilated 3 Roman legions, forcing Rome to abandon its expansion east of the Rhine. Outcome: the defeat halted Rome's conquests in Germania, marking the Rhine as a natural boundary. Phase 3. The retaliation and the Long Frontier War, 14 to 180 CE. Germanicus' revenge. Emperor Tiberius launched retaliatory campaigns led by Germanicus to restore Rome's honor after Teutoburg. These expeditions inflicted heavy casualties on the Germanic tribes and recovered 2 of the lost legionary standards. Key battles: Battle of Idistavizo, 16 CE, a Roman victory over Arminius' forces. Campaigns along the Weser River. Germanicus' forces burned villages and ravaged Germanic lands. Outcome: despite military success, Rome abandoned its ambitions in Germania, focusing instead on consolidating its Rhine defenses. Marcomannic Wars, 166 to 180 CE. During the reign of Marcus Aurelius, the Marcomanni and other tribes launched a massive invasion of Roman territory along the Danube frontier. Key battles: Sieges of Aquileia and Vindobona, Vienna. Germanic forces pushed deep into Roman territory before being repelled. Roman counteroffensives. Marcus Aurelius led campaigns that temporarily stabilized the frontier. Outcome: the wars drained Rome's resources and highlighted the growing threat of Germanic confederations. Phase 4. The migration period and Rome's collapse, 300 to 476 CE. The Huns and Germanic pressure. The arrival of the Huns in Europe triggered massive migrations of Germanic tribes into Roman territory. Groups like the Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals, and Franks sought refuge and opportunities within the empire, often through force. Key events: Battle of Adrianople, 378 CE. The Visigoths defeated the Eastern Roman army, killing Emperor Valens. Sack of Rome, 410 CE. Alaric and the Visigoths looted Rome, symbolizing the empire's weakening hold. Germanic kingdoms emerge. By the 5th century, Germanic tribes had established kingdoms across former Roman territories. Key battles: Battle of the Catalonian Plains, 451 CE. A coalition of Romans and Visigoths halted Attila the Hun's advance. Battle of Soissons, 486 CE. Clovis I defeated the last Roman forces in Gaul, cementing Frankish control. Outcome: the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, replaced by Germanic kingdoms that preserved and transformed Roman traditions. Cultural and political impact: the Great War between Rome and the Germanic tribes was not just a military conflict. It was a cultural exchange that shaped the foundations of Europe. Germanic influence on Rome: Germanic soldiers served as federates within Roman armies, adopting Roman tactics and technology. Germanic leaders, like Theodoric the Great, blended Roman administrative practices with tribal governance. Rome's influence on Germania: Roman trade and infrastructure introduced Germanic tribes to advanced engineering, urbanization, and legal systems. Christianity, spread through Roman missionaries, became the unifying religion of the Germanic kingdoms. Epilogue: the legacy of the Great War. The centuries-long struggle between Rome and the Germanic tribes was a transformative era in European history. It marked the transition from the ancient world to the medieval era, with Germanic tribes emerging as the heirs to Rome's legacy. While Rome's empire fell, its cultural and institutional influence endured, blended with Germanic traditions to create the foundations of Western civilization. The Great War, though devastating, was a crucible in which a new Europe was forged. A land of kings and empires, roads and cities, law and faith, born from the ashes of one of history's greatest conflicts. Great War. Rome versus Germanic tribes. Continued. Phase 5. From conflict to cultural fusion, 476 to 800 CE. By the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, the Germanic tribes had become the dominant powers in Western Europe. However, their relationship with Rome did not end with conquest. Instead, it evolved into one of cultural fusion, as Germanic rulers adopted Roman traditions, legal systems, and Christianity. Germanic kingdoms take shape. After the fall of Rome, Germanic tribes carved out their own kingdoms across Europe, building on the remnants of the Roman world. These kingdoms preserved key aspects of Roman civilization while introducing their own customs and governance structures. The Ostrogothic kingdom in Italy. Under Theodoric the Great, the Ostrogoths maintained Roman administrative practices and infrastructure. Theodoric styled himself as a successor to Roman emperors, ruling Italy as a blend of Germanic king and Roman ruler. The Visigothic kingdom in Hispania. The Visigoths established a stronghold in modern Spain, integrating Roman law into their governance and supporting the Roman Church. Their kingdom became a cultural bridge between Roman and Germanic traditions. The Frankish kingdom in Gaul. The Franks under Clovis I emerged as the most powerful Germanic kingdom. Clovis' conversion to Christianity in 496 CE aligned the Franks with the Roman Church, setting the stage for their dominance in Western Europe. The role of Christianity. Christianity became the glue that bound Roman and Germanic cultures together. Introduced to the Germanic tribes through Roman missionaries, the faith transformed both their spiritual and political landscapes. Conversion of leaders. Figures like Clovis and Theodoric adopted Christianity, using it to legitimize their rule and unite their people under a common faith. The Roman Church as a mediator. The Church acted as a cultural bridge, preserving Roman traditions while integrating Germanic leaders into its hierarchy. This partnership ensured the survival of Roman ideals in a post-Roman world. Phase 6. The Carolingian Revival, 800 CE. The crowning of Charlemagne as Holy Roman Emperor in 800 CE marked the culmination of centuries of Roman-Germanic interaction. Charlemagne's reign symbolized the fusion of Roman and Germanic elements, creating a new European identity. Charlemagne's empire. Charlemagne, a descendant of Clovis, unified much of Western Europe under the Frankish banner. His empire incorporated Roman administrative structures and Germanic warrior traditions. Revival of Roman culture. Charlemagne promoted the study of Latin, the copying of Roman texts, and the use of Roman law. His court became a center of learning, sparking the Carolingian Renaissance. Christianization of Germania. Charlemagne launched campaigns to convert remaining pagan Germanic tribes, such as the